said, I'm here to present a recommendation that, where 9 of us, of 9 participants of 10, agree to reach consensus to present this recommendation to you. So out of our process that, Mayor Dyer, Mayor Ashbeck, and Mayor Beltran just talked about, 9 of us reached a consensus because I'll start by saying that we know that to be successful, to have a sales tax in Fresno County, we need to be able to work together. And the work that we've done is to try to address what divided us before the 2022 election that led to an unsuccessful attempt to renew Measure C, to get us to a place where everyone benefits. So I'm gonna walk really quickly through the presentation, and then Sandra, I'm gonna kick it over to Sandra to finalize it, and then we'll open it up for Q&A, and I can talk really fast, so please stop me if I do, and then we'll go from there. So really quickly, oh, and then I think I got a request, if we can get this TV going back here. It's not working. They got hammers back there. They got the carpenters in the room, so. Okay, all right, so we all talked about this, I'm just gonna move over this. This was a group of 10 that came together to see, can we work together? Is there enough trust in this community? If the 10 of us can do it, after a potential as a very tense process last year, can we scale that to the community level? And we think we can. The meetings, as Mayor Dyer said, were facilitated by the Community Justice Center and Estelano Associates. And there were a total of 5 meetings held between April and October of 2023. These are the individuals that were part of the group that participated. Almost everybody except Mr. Perea and Cato were not part of the last meeting. I think Henry may have missed 2 meetings total, and I know he's here today. But so you know, and for reference and affiliations, who was in the room. And again, as Mayor Beltran said, and I think Mayor Ashbeck has reported at these meetings and at the SCTA meetings, that this was a committee not tasked by anybody. This was not a sanctioned committee by you or by the SCTA. We came together trying to find a path forward. And I'm gonna focus on really what were the goals, and I'm gonna maybe repeat a little bit of what Mayor Dyer said, because I think this is really important. We need each other to be able to successfully pass a measure in Fresno County. There needs to be community buy-in, and community needs to see that their voice was reflected in the process in order to vote yes. And we need to be able to demonstrate this is what you're getting out of for voting yes, if you vote yes on the measure. So our goals were really to build common understanding, to develop a shared expectation for how the 10 of us could work together. If we, as a group of 10 Fresno County citizens, could articulate a vision, could agree on a vision that we need a measure to move forward, and that we agree that for a measure to succeed, there needs to be broad support, inclusive of all sectors, demographics, and geographies throughout Fresno County, in order to move it forward. And our task was to put forward a framework, recommend a framework to you to move the process along to get to the ballot. As Mayor Dyer said, our task was not to discuss percentages, to talk about projects, to talk about priorities. It was simply to talk about, can we recommend a process for moving forward? This lent itself, as you can imagine how the first meeting went. A few of us had to get a couple of our feelings out. But it really led to some early agreements that we could all agree on. And those were a local transportation measure is important. It could do a lot of good if done right. A future transportation measure should be grounded in a shared vision of what we're all gonna be here in Fresno County. We're looking at the future. There are young people in this room who are going to pay for this measure. We really need to ground it in a vision that we can all share and agree. Decision-making protocols should be very clear at the outset. This was one of the challenges that many of you can attest to in the last go-around, where it wasn't clear who and how decisions were ultimately being made about what was placed before the voters. And that created a lot of chaos, as some of you remember, a meeting that went till midnight at City Hall. And that spending priorities should be clear, and that they should be developed through a transparent process that gives everybody a voice at the table if they want one, regardless of who you are. If you're a Fresno County resident, and a voter and taxpayer in Fresno County, and you want to dedicate the time and energy to crafting this, you should be able to have a voice in the process. So in creating a shared vision, and this is not at all where you're not saying this is the vision, this was this group of 10 initial framing to guide our work together. Obviously, this is open to the public and to your feedback. This will get refined through the process, but for us it was important to articulate, in order to get to a recommendation to you, what a tax measure would do, right? And for us, it was, well, it should benefit all residents in Fresno County. It should invest equitably. We know that there are communities and neighborhoods, small cities, unincorporated communities, neighborhoods within Clovis and the city of Fresno that are in dire need of investment. We've all heard it, and we've all heard about the transportation challenges that face residents throughout the county. We need to make sure that it is a fair and inclusive process, that a measure promotes health and community resilience, that it provides economic opportunity and shared prosperity and allows our community to help close the wealth gaps and inequities that exist in our community. And that, for example, is transportation to get to a job, be able to count and rely on systems to get you to work. And because this is a forward-looking measure, this is a forward-looking plan, it should advance innovation. Who knows what the future will look like 30 years from now. So that guided our work together. And, okay, so this is our recommendation. As I noted, I'm gonna walk through the components and then Sandra will talk to, okay, so what is this really, how would this really work if you all were to support this concept moving forward? We have a proposed structure, and I will walk through what each bullet means. And so it was important to the 10 of us in the room to be very clear about the role of staff, the role of elected officials, the roles of individual cities, the role of the county, and the community at large. And so what we're proposing is a structure that includes these components: an administrative team, a community forum, which I'll talk about in a second, a project facilitation team, a drafting team, you, the Fresno Council of Governments, the Fresno County Transportation Authority, and each of the 15 cities and the Fresno County Board of Supervisors. This is our structure. The administrative team, what we're recommending is a group of 14 individuals that really keeps the wheels going. Make sure that there's a process in place that's gonna do the work to get us to a place where we put a measure before voters. Where we're suggesting is that in order to allow for some continuity between the meetings that we have had in the last couple of months, that model worked, that you got people in the room who are willing to do the work, have difficult conversations about how to move forward, and we want to be able to continue that. So we're proposing 5 proponents of the 2022 measure, and you all can select who that is and who you want to represent. 5 members of the Transportation for All Coalition, formerly the No on Measure C Coalition, which led the opposition campaign. The executive directors of the Fresno COG and the FCTA, recognizing their role and their importance and expertise in helping navigate the process. And the chairs of the Fresno COG Transportation Technical Committee and the Fresno COG Policy Advisory Committee, to make sure that technical expertise that lives within our community is part of this group that helps guide the process forward, and that institutional knowledge supports a group of 10 individuals to make that happen. The administrative team is responsible for moving the process forward, for helping secure and manage the project facilitation team, and this is really important, I really want you to keep this in mind, providing regular updates to this board and the FCTA board on a regular basis as part of your existing meeting structure, so you're in the loop every step of the way. The community forum is a series of meetings that would happen over, the details are not clear, and this is just my estimate, over a 12 to 14 month period, where there would be a series of meetings where everybody in the public, your schools, your farmers, your industries, your business, community leaders, tribal representatives, schools, young people, students, your health sector, your safety people. Everybody becomes aware that we're about to begin a process to renew Measure C, and here's the process that we're gonna follow, and the community forum will be a series of meetings where the public can come and help establish the goals, priorities, and outcomes of the measure, facilitated by a facilitation team that is skilled in their ability to be able to do this. And this community forum would review and vote on a final recommendation to each of the 15 city councils, to the Fresno County Board of Supervisors, to the Fresno COG, and to the FCTA for approval, for their review and approval, before it is placed on the ballot, consistent with state law, the Public Utilities Code, which outlines your responsibility to require a majority of cities, a majority of population to support the plan before the county can even place the measure on the ballot. The community forum is open to everybody, and it is our intent is that we fully anticipate that you or your staff or members of your councils also participate and are there every step of the way. The project facilitation team, Measure C is a full-time job. Mayor Ashbeck has said this throughout. This is a huge undertaking to renew a measure that's billions. We're talking about billions at stake here. And so we would hire a team of people to help make this real. We know that we need full-time, dedicated staff to helping move this forward along. It's our recommendation, the project facilitation team prepares all the meeting materials, that includes agendas, materials, summaries. They facilitate community forum meetings. They provide the drafting team with summary of outcomes from each community forum to support the drafting process. The drafting team is a subset of the project facilitation team. These are your experts. These are the folks that are actually going to put pen to paper on what's coming out of the community forum, what's coming out of your meetings, the feedback that you're providing through your membership on this board, through if you are a member of the FCTA, what's coming out of the FCTA meetings, and putting pen to paper and helping draft the plan for review and feedback by the public and by all of you. And it is fully expected that the drafting team participates in all of the community forum meetings, so they're there to hear firsthand what the feedback we're getting from the public.